Okay, so we have some breaking news here, folks. The American Navy has just landed on the island of Iwo Jima. They think they can get away with taking over Japanese territory? Well, they're in for a surprise, because we've got something in line for them. Tonight, listen to me as I take you on a tour of Iwo Jima, and how we will stop the American advance exclusively on the Rising Sun News Network. Around 750 miles away lies the island of Iwo Jima, surrounded on all sides by water. Here, the Japanese Navy is tasked with the honorable mission of protecting the Japanese territory of Iwo Jima from the prying hands of the evil and wretched Americans. In order to defend against an onslaught of Americans, the Japanese have concocted a strategy that is truly worthy of the Japanese people. As we have discovered in other battles, the American Navy has a way of defeating the world-class Japanese Navy at times. And in order to prevent even the slightest chance of a naval defeat, the Japanese Army have chosen to go for guerrilla tactics on the island. As we are told, the Japanese Army will employ a lure and attack method. First luring the wretched Americans into the island and then bombing them with artillery shells. For further insight into this issue, here is former Army General Hajime Sugiyama. Hello, Mr. General. So what is our war strategy in Iwo Jima?
So, well, first of all, thank you for having me on this wonderful news program. So what we have started to do is we have started a defense of the Japanese island of Iwo Jima. Hopefully, with this victory, we can crush the American forces and make our Japanese people proud along with it. Our soldiers are ready to fight until they die. Each of our men plans on killing about 10 Americans before they fall, and they are fiercely dedicated to the cause. We will kill all the Americans on Iwo Jima before we fall. We will dig trenches and build tunnels to surprise the Americans and crush their infantry. Their bombers are no match for our intelligence, and they can and will not destroy our bunkers. After we win in Iwo Jima, we will push all the way back to the American homeland and take that.
Alright, thank you, Mr. General. I'm sure our viewers feel more secure about the war that is going on. And now they know how exactly the Japanese Imperial Army and how it works. And, we have breaking news from RSNN news reporters in Iwo Jima. Let's talk to Meher in Iwo Jima. Over to you, Meher.
Hey Brian, I'm here on Iwo Jima today to show the RSNN viewers about the ongoing Battle of Iwo Jima. Its hostilities have already started, with the Japanese army looking strong, as we've killed many American soldiers that are trying to get onto the island. If we continue at this rate, we'll be able to drive out the Americans in no time. Here's a close-up look at the hostilities.
Suribachi, 546 feet volcano guards Iwo, and heavy, dangerous flak threatens planes coming in to dive bomb shore positions. The death-dealing planes of the task force return, some of them carrying the scars of battle. Others are even less fortunate. Breaking free of the wreckage, the pilot swims until help arrives. 3 days and nights of thunder and flame preceded the actual landing. Marines of the 4th and 5th Divisions, delivered by the Coast Guard, head for the beach. Further protection is provided by a cover barrage of light guns and rockets. From rocky positions are landing barges. Many boys died when a Jap shell made a direct hit. Under murderous fire, the landings continue. The Japs spent a generation fortifying Iwo Jima, realizing its great strategic value. Casualties are heavy. 2,000 Marines died on Iwo's bloody shores. Iwo's black volcanic sands make treacherous going. Through the slit of a tank, the camera catches the advance on Motoyama Airfield, which will soon serve our bombers. dogged attack rolls up the field. Tank flamethrowers pour a withering blast at Jap pillboxes. Digging foxholes in the loose black ash is almost impossible, and the barren island offers little comfort to a war-weary Marine. Organized Jap resistance is over on Iwo Jima. This was the toughest single action of the Pacific War. It cost nearly 20,000 American casualties, over 4,000 of them dead.
Wow, that's some fierce fighting indeed, Brian. Just as Mr. Sugiyama said, the Japanese are attacking the Americans from outposts in the trees and the forests. Of course, I'm here on the main Japanese outpost on the central field of Iwo Jima. The Japanese commanders Tadamichi Kuribayashi and Takeshi Nishi tell me that on this one island we have enough supplies to hold out for 4 months, which is much more than what our intelligence tells us the Americans have planned. Our supplies include 55 500-gallon drums filled with water, kerosene, and fuel oil for generators. We also have 320mm Spy-Got mortars and a lot of other explosives. All day, our loyal Japanese troops have been fighting those horrid Americans, and it's just been so fun to see the funny Americans lumber up to the beach and have their butts blown off by our artillery. I don't think their commanders understand that what they're gonna lose, because they've just been sending wave after wave of troops hoping to lay siege to the island. They're failing though, because they're trying to pull their artillery and their ships onto the island so that they can set up camp and siege us. But the sand is too soft, so the Americans are taking too long and they're getting blown to bits. Well, that's all we've got for the moment, folks. The Japanese are destroying the Americans in this must-win battle. Thank you, and over to Brian for a special in-show presentation on Japanese strategy at the Battle of Iwo Jima.